So the reason I want this job is because I know about race issues and I care about them. And part of the reason for that is due to my own background and largely because I grew up in Berkeley, which is a city that's very socially conscious and diverse and liberal. And I think growing up in that environment and in my own family, we're also uh, socially conscious in the same way. And I think that helped me be aware of things that were going on that had a lot to do with race in this country and a lot of the controversial things that were happening, like police shootings, and in my education, my public education, I got to learn about institutional racism and things like that, and it was just a common topic and conversation. And in addition to that, I think it was growing up in a family that traveled to different places, and we were able to experience different cultures from the perspective of someone that's going into a different place and experiencing someone else's culture, which enabled more empathy for the immigrant or the minority. One specific experience stands out to me. When my family and I were visiting Mexico, we were actually staying there for 5 months when I was in fifth grade, and I was attending school there. And we had been going to school for a couple months, and I was being asked to read out loud with a group of people. Each person was reading out loud, and I began reading out loud, trying to read in Spanish, trying my hardest to learn the language and um, adjust adjust to the culture and the language and everything that's going on around me. And I tripped up on some words, I assume, and people started giggling. Maybe it was something else, but I couldn't handle the embarrassment, and I just started crying. I was just torn apart, and part of it was just how hard it was to be um, a minority and an immigrant and someone coming into someone else's culture and trying to adjust and be like everyone else and make friends while knowing that you're different. And sometimes people may be acutely aware of that and how they are all the same and you're different. And I don't think that means that I understand all minorities and how they feel all the time or how they're treated necessarily in the US, but I think that gave me a little bit of a taste of what it is like to feel like a minority and separate from a group. And because of that, and because of my background as a statistician, I feel like I have a motivation to allow people to also understand this empathy. And I think statistics is a good way to dig up information to show people how this is an issue in society and that we need to treat it and be aware of it. And step one is being aware, I think.